किसी भी इतिहास को दर्ज करने, किसी त्रासदी या सभ्यता को प्रमाणित करने का सबसे बड़ा कार्य साहित्य करता है। यही एक लिखित प्रमाण बनता है सभ्यताओं के अस्तित्व का। युस ये लेखुन छु, यम किताब छु, यम पेपर छु, यमै छु साने नई पुई यह आवान अस क्या अस कच्छ तो अस क्या हको असित। यह छु अख सु दस्तावेज युस ये है कि पोज पाई पट दुनिया ताम वातनवित अस छु वुन ते बरकरार तो अस छु वुन जिंद। मगर क्या अस वाकई जिंद छा या वुन छु अस जिंद रोजन खतर वारिया के बे कदम तुलिन यमनी पेट करो आज कथ। तो आज इस स्मरण दिवस पर साहित्यिक प्रमाणिता बढ़ाने और इस 3 दशक की टीस को आवाज़ देने के लिए मंच पर पहले सत्र के लिए आमंत्रण देना चाहूँगी। पत्र वाचन और काव्य पाठ के लिए श्री बृजनाथ पंडित बेताब जी, डॉक्टर पवन सूरी जी, श्री PN शाद साहब, श्री दिलदार मोहन जी और श्री पीताम्बर राजदान जी को कृपया मंच पर पधारें और स्थान ग्रहण करें। श्री बृजनाथ पंडित बेताब जी किसी परिचय के मोहताज नहीं हैं। ये जितने भी नाम हमने इस समय मंच पर आमंत्रित किए हैं, ये सभी अपने अपने क्षेत्रों में इतना कार्य कर चुके हैं कि आप सब इन्हें केवल इनके नाम और इनके चेहरों से ही इन्हें पहचान लेते हैं। साहित्य की दृष्टि से अगर देखा जाए तो एक शिक्षाविद और शोधकर्ता, एक बहुत बेहतरीन लेखक श्री बृजनाथ पंडित बेताब जी हमारे बीच हैं। इन्हीं के साथ हमारे बीच डॉक्टर पवन सूरी कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट हैं। ही इज़ एन एक्सपर्ट इन द फील्ड ऑफ इंटरवेंशनल कार्डियोलॉजी, हैज़ परफॉर्म्ड मोर देन 12,000 एंजियोग्राफीज एंड 7,000 plus angioplasties, implanted a pacemaker in a 14-month-old baby, which is a success in his career. And he is the recipient of FRCP and fellowship of FSCAI and FESC, along with an award of excellence in his name from MIDI and the Best Cardiologist Award by Times Now. इनके साथ हमारे बीच लेखन की दृष्टि से एक बेहतरीन साहित्यकार, जम्मू कश्मीर की छवि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंचों पर बना चुके हैं श्री PN शाद साहब। दिलदार मोहन जी आप सभी के दिल में उसी प्रकार बसते हैं जिस प्रकार इनका काव्य पाठ बसता है। और पीताम्बर राजदान जी एक बेहतरीन लेखक और एक बेहतरीन कवि हम सबके बीच में। मंच पर सबसे पहला आमंत्रण देना चाहूँगी पत्र वाचन सत्र के लिए डॉक्टर पवन सूरी, कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट। प्लीज़ प्रेजेंट योर पेपर। डॉक्टर पवन सूरी आज कश्मीरी पंडितों के अस्तित्व और उनके जीवित रहने के संघर्ष पर पत्र वाचन कर रहे हैं।
कोई भी काम हम शुरू कर लें, सबसे मुश्किल कड़ी जो होती है वो ओपनिंग बैट्समैन की होती है। क्रिकेट मैच खेलते रहते हैं हम, शेड्यूल्ड होता है कि भाई पहले बैटिंग किसने करनी है, बट सडनली जब 1 डाउन बैट्समैन को रोहित सामने आ जाए और आप कहे कि नहीं ओपनिंग बैट्समैन आप भी जाओगे, सो इट बिकम्स मोर स्ट्रेसफुल। Not stressful that we cannot speak, not stressful that we don't know about our culture and our, community, but stressful because when we have a mixed field and the opening batsman does not know what the bowler is going to bowl, whether he is going to bowl the googly, the bouncer, over pitch, short pitch, and same thing happens to me because it becomes difficult when it's a mixed field and you don't know कि आपने हिंदी में बात करनी है, आपने कश्मीरी में बात करनी है, अंग्रेज़ी में बात करनी है या डोगरी में बात करनी है। So being a student and alumni of St. Joseph School, Baramulla, I will request that if I'm talking more in English, so you will forget and forgive me for that. I will try my level best कि मैं हिंदी में थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा बात कर लूँ so that it becomes audible and acceptable to each one of us. When we talk about our community, the community of Pride Kashmiri Pandits, this should be the opening statement of each one of us, because we should be proud of our community, we should be proud of our lineage, we should be proud of our genes. We are a unique community. हम यूनिक इसलिए है क्योंकि सिर्फ हम ही लोग, हम ही क्रिएचर्स इस पूरी धरती में हैं जो अपना बर्थडे 2 बार मनाते हैं साल में. एक हमारा इंग्लिश बर्थडे विच इज़ फिक्स्ड ऑन आवर डेट ऑफ बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट्स, और एक हमारा कश्मीरी बर्थडे जो सिर्फ हम मनाते हैं. एंड दैट इज़ नॉट डिसाइडेड एंड पुट ऑन आवर डेट ऑफ बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट्स, बट दैट इज़ decided and dictated by our parents and grandparents, by putting their glasses on their nose and then taking the jantri out and then deciding that मेरे बच्चे का कश्मीरी बर्थडे इस दिन है, मेरे पोते का कश्मीरी बर्थडे उस दिन है. So it is all variable. But unfortunately, as we have moved, as we have got scattered, and as we have got dispersed all across the globe, there may be some unfortunate households जहाँ पे ये जंतरी available नहीं होगी, and that is the reason those people may not be celebrating their Kashmiri birthdays. But the one day that we can never forget, and for that we don't need our date of birth certificates, हमें जंतरी उस चीज़ के लिए नहीं चाहिए, is the day of 19 January 1990, the Holocaust Day. And as we are here to commemorate on this day, rather than going back and thinking about कि यार हमने क्या खोया, हमने क्या पाया, it is being a positive and taking a positive note out of it. I feel we should use and utilize this day as an opportunity for our growth, and as the previous speaker has already said, कि our cultural growth, our artistic growth, our literary growth, and our individual as well as community growth. The topic that was given to me was the survival of KPs, what we think and what others think. Both things are important. What we think और दूसरे हमारे बारे में क्या सोच रहे हैं वो भी ज़रूरी है, दोनों चीज़ें बराबर ही है. But still I give an edge to what we think, because जो हम अपने बारे में समझते हैं, जो हम अपने बारे में अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हैं, nobody from the outside world can do it. So I will, in next 15-20 minutes, and I say to the moderator that if I cross my time limit, you can stop me there. That's fine. So my talk will be divided into what we think, and then I will talk about what others think about us, and then I will come to the conclusion. So what we think is that life is a struggle. It's सबके लिए है. We have seen the struggle, everyone, irrespective of the age, the gender, the caste, creed, color, status. हर बंदा struggle कर रहा है. We have our beloved Prime Minister. All through his childhood, he struggled. Voice okay? All through his childhood, he has struggled, and now he is the Prime Minister of the largest democratic country of the world. On the other hand, we have the Prince, Rahul Gandhi, जो अभी 4 महीने से पद यात्रा पे है, and he is also struggling for survival. So every individual is struggling, and they are struggling for the survival. Survival does not mean that we are eating, we are living, we are sleeping, and we are walking. This is not survival. The survival has different meanings. It has meaning depending upon the time we are talking about, depending upon our priorities, the situations, and the circumstances. So when it comes to the survival of the community in large, and especially when we are talking about the survival of Kashmiri Pandits, it again has a different meaning, different interpretations, and different connotations. based on the situation and the time frame. Nobody can forget 1990. In 1990, when the mass exodus occurred, and I don't want to go back into that flashback and have goosebumps or crying, tearing eyes and crying faces, because we all know, हमें सब पता है कि भाई उस टाइम क्या हुआ था, because we were in teens at that time. So when the mass exodus occurred at that point of time, we not only left our palatial houses, not only our jobs, but we left our aspirations, our dreams. We left our places of worship, and we left our attire. अगर वैसा नहीं होता, तो more than 50% of the people sitting here, including me, हम फेरन में ही होते इस टाइम. And maybe some of us would have come with the kangri also, and we would have a kangri here, इसबंद उसमें डाला होता, और उसका धुआं जल रहा होता. This is what we have left. The mass movement was a directionless movement, there is no doubt about it. It had no defined and destined destinations, but it was the need of an hour at that time. We may think we had a lot of discussions in past also, in future also. Today, maybe if it was not a cultural, meet, if it was a political meet, we would have other discussions that नहीं हमने उस टाइम वो गलत किया, collectively हम निकले नहीं, हमने एक दूसरे को बोला नहीं उस टाइम. But understand that we were in a total fear psychosis was prevailing in the atmosphere at that point of time. And we were amidst the slogans of Relio, Galio, Yatsilio, which was highlighted in the movie also. Meaning thereby that either you have to mix up with us, या तो आपने हमारे साथ जुड़ना है and accept our faith, or accept death, or leave the valley. So I feel our parents and grandparents, in their own capacity, in their own individual capacity, did the right thing. They chose the last one, and we left the valley. And we left the valley despite knowing the fact, our parents knew the fact that this was not an end of our struggle. It was just the beginning of our struggle for survival. Because हम नई जगह में जा रहे थे, जहाँ पे हमारे जानने वाला कोई नहीं था. We had no shelter, we had no food, we had no place. But still they took the decision. And I feel we should be grateful to our parents and grandparents, and just because of them that we are sitting here and discussing it again. As it was a struggle for survival between life and death, so I feel that our parents took the right decision and they chose life over death. And that's why how we survived. And it has been 32 years plus now. और हम सांस भी ले रहे हैं, हम जी भी रहे हैं, और हम किसी मुकाम पे पहुँचे भी हैं. The all credit goes to them. So in short, I say that we have won the battle, we have survived right now. But जैसे मूवीज में भी बताती है कि पिक्चर अभी बाकी है, it is not an end, it is just the beginning again. That now we have realized that we have survived and we have won the battle. We are established as at an individual level. Why then are we discussing about the survival of KPs again? This is the reason. And the time Rohit called me and said that you have to talk about the survival of KPs. I'm a regular writer in newspapers. I write about my editorials every 3 weekly. And this is the heart-touching, you can understand, the ones who can understand the pain of migrated KPs, they can understand what I want to talk about. So the question is that why are we discussing our survival yet again? There are two main reasons for this. There may be some variation in our viewpoints, but more than 90% of the times I feel my talk will echo the feelings, the views of majority of the people who are concerned about our community. The first and the foremost reason out of the two is that despite being in Exodus for more than 32 years, nothing has changed on ground for us. हमारे लिए कुछ बदला नहीं है. A recent example, Kashmiri Pandits, our brothers, our sisters, working under the PM Package Fund, were targeted, were shot while on their work. Atmosphere like 1990 was recreated, and the struggle for survival started again. So after 32 years, we have been again tortured. We have been again made to struggle for our survival. Maybe for that, it may not be for the whole community right now, because majority of the people have left that place, but the people who are surviving, they are part of us, and we need to be concerned and bothered about them. For them, it may not be the struggle for survival between life and death, but for them, it's the struggle for survival between death and duty. They are performing their duty, they are doing their karma, and in return, they are getting the death threats. So I feel the struggle for survival may not be that intense for all of us, but for those, it is almost the same who are duty bound there. Madam ji, no issues. The other reason why we are discussing it, and that it is a larger meaning, it is a broader meaning, why we are discussing it again. Because by now, we have realized that our strength is not based upon the individual achievements, is not based upon the individual accomplishments, is not based upon the individual procurements. Individually, we have progressed, but now we are realizing that our strength lies in the usage of two words as a prefix to each one of us, irrespective of our surnames. And those two words are Kashmiri Pandits. And I feel this is the issue which we are going to talk about for years and decades together. There has been a marked dilution in the usage of these two words, Kashmiri Pandits, over the years now. Kashmiri Pandits have been replaced by Kashmiri Hindus. There is no problem, there is no issue in calling us Kashmiri Hindus. Because we are Hindus, all Pandits are Hindus. But all Hindus are not Pandits. All Sikhs are Punjabis, but all Punjabis are not Sikhs. So we have to understand that. We have to focus upon the word Pandit. So this is what we are talking about, the survival. So regarding what others think about us, I feel we should not forget the helping hand provided to us by Dogras of Jammu. They provided us with the shelter. उन्होंने हमें जगह दे दी, और उस टाइम जगह दे दी when it was needed the most. In the history of our survival, the Dogras will have a lot of role to play, because they accommodated us despite the demographic situation of Jammu. which was not favorable to us. Regarding what others think about us, there might have some perspectives might have changed after the release of the Kashmir Files movie, after the abrogation of Article 370 or 35A. But as they say, they just create the sound, and on grounds, we are again the same. Kashmiri Files was a big movie, a big success. All parameters of success were met. But for us, it was an emotion. For us, it was the pain, it was the sorrow, which was shown on the big screen in the broad daylight. And if I was asked about the success of that movie, I would say that the movie was successful if any of the NGOs would have come to the camps and highlighted the issue of Kashmiri Pandits there. If the political will would have changed and the cases which have been closed against the accused would have reopened, I would have marked that movie as a success. That movie was a blockbuster, 300 crore plus, and shortlisted for the Oscars. All a good movie can ask for. But for a Kashmiri Pandit, it was just an emotion, and that emotions were shattered once the release was over. Similarly, the abrogation of Article 370, it reduced the statehood of the J&K to the Union Territory, and the state subject that was the only link between us and our homeland has lost its value, because we are not the state subject now. It's a Union Territory, and that state subject which is lying with us sealed in the cupboards, that is a doubtful value. What others think about us, they say that we have grown, we have established ourselves, we have got a lot of opportunities, we are all across the globe. There's no doubt about it. At an individual level, we are all doing good. But at a community level, they don't understand that we have lost the motherland, and we are searching for the place, we are searching for the neighborhood where we can talk in our own mother language, the Kashmiri. We cannot talk it in schools, we cannot talk it in colleges, in the hospitals, in our working places. The only place that is left is our homes. And now, with the breed of new generations coming in, it's difficult for us to maintain that. And I feel the Vomedh is doing a wonderful job regarding that, because the only link that can make us to survive this catastrophe is by the cultural activities, is by the art, and is by the spread of our language. So to conclude, I feel I will come again to my starting point, that life is a struggle and we are not an exception. But our struggle is different. Our struggle is not for the survival only. हमारी struggle जो है वो हमारे culture को बचाने की है, हमारी language को बचाने की है. We are the only community, probably in the world, not in India, that has got the wandering roots. We are a rootless community. We are all scattered all across the globe, but we don't have the roots. And unless and until we don't fix our roots, our offshoots are not going to rise. For that, we need a homeland. It's again a political issue, not a stage to discuss about it. But one thing we need to understand, that in opting for our homeland, in rushing for our homeland, we need to read our epic book, the Ramayana, again. Lord Rama was also in exile for 14 years. He came back to his homeland, and he got everything. He got kingdom, he got wealth, he got respect, fame, honor, everything. But at cost of what? At cost of losing his peace. Because he had to get Mata Sita on an ordeal for an Agni Pariksha, and he had to fight in the battlefield against his own sons. If the homeland we are dreaming of is like that, I feel it is not worth losing that peace, losing that peace of mind. So till we search for the places where we can fix our roots. I feel we should promote our language, we should talk more liberally in our own language. We should create libraries, we should guide our generation, next generation, to follow our rituals, and we should celebrate our festivals. We should celebrate our festivals. What we are doing, we are celebrating all the festivals. We need to celebrate our festivals. There is no harm in celebrating Eid. There is no harm in celebrating Baisakhi, in Guru Tegh Bahadur. All the festivals we can celebrate. But we need to really celebrate our Navre, our Saunt, our Ashtami, every month. We need to, inculcate those seeds in our next generation, what Ashtami means actually. There's no harm in going for a fast on that day. Make it a fasting day for the whole family so that our kids realize these are the small things at an individual level what we can do. And at a collective level, we need a socio, political, cultural, economical, all levels coming together. But at an individual level, we need these small efforts at our house. So to sum up, this is a testing time for all of us, and I feel the organizations like Vomedh, Radio Sharda, 90.4, they are doing a wonderful job, and I request them to keep the fire on, and whenever, wherever, and whatsoever is required or needed at any point of time, we all together are just one call away. And before I leave from here, most of the people sitting here must be thinking that on this day, on the day of Holocaust, why I started talking about the birthdays. Because today is the Kashmiri birthday of my younger son. And that is the reason I started with it. And my mother celebrates, she does not wish us on the English birthdays, she wishes us on this day only. My kids, they get annoyed that you don't wish us on our English birthdays. But this is the difference of the generations. And we are the generations which has got sandwiched between the ones who are more happy in celebrating the English birthdays and between the other, on the other side, the ones who are more happy in celebrating the Kashmiri birthdays. And it is our duty to guide our kids that our parents have been right in 90s, they are right today, and they will be right throughout. And why I said that the Kashmiri community is a unique community, and the reason being that we are the ones who celebrate twice, the birthdays twice, because this was the line told to me by my son only, that Papa, हमारे स्कूल में कोई बच्चा एक ही बर्थडे मनाता है, सिर्फ मैं ही एक अकेला हूँ जो दो बर्थडे मनाता है. And this is the privilege of being a Kashmiri Pandit. And I wish and hope that for the generations to come, we are able to maintain, and our generations down the line are able to stand here right up and say we are a proud Kashmiri Pandits. Thank you.